I am delighted to introduce our next speaker, another dynamic, vibrant, and inspiring woman who I've had the pleasure of knowing for more than 13 years. Jodi McAllister has run just about every position on the floor in her 2+ decades in the industry. We first crossed paths when Jodes was GM at Pizzeria Locale, now known as Pizzeria Alberico in Boulder. And in the years since, she's worked her way up to Director of HR for Frasca Hospitality Group, where she currently oversees hundreds of team members across 6 restaurants in Boulder, Inglewood, Denver, and Vail. And as if that wasn't enough, she's the wife to a great husband, fabulous mom to 2 young kiddos, and if you ask nicely, I'm pretty sure she'll show you pictures of her new puppies, little sheepdog puppies, Millie and Cooper. Jodes, I admire your energy, poise, unflappable demeanor, and incredible ability to juggle and make shit happen. I'm very proud to welcome you to the board. I'm very proud to be your hype girl forever and ever and welcome you to the stage. Jodi McAllister.
Woo, yeah. All right, Eat Denver. Good morning. Thank you all so much for having me. It is a true privilege to be standing on this stage today. And thank you, Sarah. What an incredible introduction. And most importantly, thank you, Kip. Thank you, Kristen, for programming me first. So if I mess up, none of you will remember it by the time Michael goes, okay? All right, let's get into it today. Retention is the new recruiting. Quick show of hands. Who here is hiring at the moment? Who here is looking for a job at the moment? Come on, MSU students, let's go. All right. Okay, so here's what I find interesting about this. We are in the hospitality industry, right? We know how to build loyalty. It's what we do. We live it, we breathe it. We track which guests come back and why. We track which guest drinks sparkling water, which guest drinks still water, what's their favorite burrito every single morning, and what salsa they get with it. We train our teams to invest in this experience for our guests. We invest in the ambiance, the tools, the systems. We do that because we understand that the value isn't in one transaction. It's built in a relationship over time. So here's the question I keep asking myself in HR. Why don't we apply this same logic to our people? Most operations don't have a recruiting problem. We have a retention problem. And the reason we keep solving it with recruiting is because hiring feels like an action. It feels productive. Retention is slower. It's relational. And it doesn't just show up on a checklist, but where it shows up is on our P&Ls and in our culture and on the faces of the individuals that stay but see the good team members leaving. Industry research puts the cost of replacing a single employee anywhere from 50 to 200% of their annual pay. Not just the job posting, not in just the uniforms that you have to keep repurchasing, but the full cost, the slower tickets, the nights where you have to comp 2 meals because of mistakes. And then those managers, the managers that are spending all of their time training instead of leading the floor. We pay that tab every few months. I've been a manager. I've been on the floor on those really brutal Friday nights with a skeleton crew, just wondering if you're gonna make it and hold on. And I get it. Some of you guys don't have an HR department, or you've never been to the HR department, or you are the HR department, right? You are running your teams. So whether you have a team of 3, 30, 300, what I'm gonna say today applies to everyone. Because none of it requires a system, it requires intention. All right, I'm working this clicker pretty good. I like this. All right, okay. Retention starts at the hiring stage. I'm gonna start here because most of us think that retention is a future us problem. But really, some of your turnover may start at that hiring process. Not because you hired bad people, right? We're hiring great people out there. It's because we're rushing to fill a seat and we hire for availability rather than alignment, or we paint a rosier picture of what it looks like on our floor versus the reality. We promise flexibility, and we can't always deliver on that. So 3 things that I'd like to talk about during this hiring process. Be honest about the role. Talk about the gritty moments, the hard moments. Talk about what the schedule really looks like. The right person's gonna stay because you told them what the job was about. Know their goals. You're about to start a relationship with this person. Know what they want from it. And make commitments. That might be hard for some of you in this room, but make commitments. Write them down. What does success look like in 30 days, in 90 days? And whether it's on the back of a napkin or on that notebook that you take to every interview, write it down, because that piece of paper becomes your retention contract. A playbook. Okay, so 3 things. Again, no new systems, no new software. I'm not introducing any of that today. Just intentional leadership done consistently. In HR, I have to do a number of exit interviews. And I want to propose, why aren't we doing more stay interviews? So number 1, communicate before there's a problem. Schedule these 15-minute conversations. It's not a performance review, it's a conversation with that team member. What's motivating you? What's challenging you right now? And what you learn from those conversations may surprise you, and with that employee, it's gonna mean more than you know. Set expectations and hold them for everyone. Consistency is gonna be your most underrated retention tool. When your team sees that expectations are held for everyone, from you to the owner, top down, trust is built. When they don't see that, it erodes. Address what needs to be addressed. Your word is your retention strategy. And this last one, recognize people specifically. My daughter said that last night, it was so cute. Specifically and often. All right, we say this all the time. Good job, we crushed it. That is not recognition. I want you to name the behavior. I saw how you crushed the pass last night. That's the type of ownership I want to see from you every night. Name the behavior, mean it. Do it often and consistently. It costs you nothing, and it could change the game for you. Studies show that 75% of employees are less likely to leave if they feel recognized. Okay, so this is what retention is going to look like from us as leaders on the floor. But let me tell you what it might look like from an employee side. Last year, we lost a few senior servers. We lost some senior chefs, people in our company that had been with us for a while. At FHG, we cover employee benefits if you've been with us for 3 years or longer. These employees were getting full benefits, great pay. The number one thing they said to me during their exit interview is that they hadn't had a meeting or a conversation with their manager in over a year. When I sit down with individuals for exit interviews and really sit down with them, these are the 5 things that get brought up the most. They stop growing. There's no conversations, there's no opportunity, so they go find that horizon somewhere else. Growth doesn't have to mean a new title. It doesn't have to come with a promotion every time, but it does have to come with purpose. They felt invisible. We all have those people on our team, and maybe you're that person on the team that will do things without being asked. And because people do that, we often stop noticing. We're so busy pouring our energy into the problems that we forget to pour it into the individuals that keep us afloat. They lost trust in their manager. This relationship is one of the most powerful retention variables we have, the direct supervisor and the employee. Not the pay, not the benefits, but that relationship. And when it's transactional or one-sided, unfortunately, our people leave. The culture didn't match the promise. This goes back to that very first hiring moment that you have, right? If your pitch of, we are a team here, we promote from within, if that pitch doesn't meet the reality for that new hire, they're gonna leave. Inconsistent accountability wore them out. High performers, you're in this room, you notice everything. And when you see those standards, the standards that are set and the standards that aren't actually enforced, when those don't match, our people will leave. Your top performers, they don't lower the bar, right? They get exhausted holding that bar up. So I want to go back to my first kind of talking point about retention being a hospitality tool. We track the lifetime of our guest. We have loyalty programs. We have Open Table. We have all of these great programs that we invest in because the relationship doesn't come in one visit. It comes in all the visits after that. Your people work the same way. So let's ask yourself, when was the last time you applied this logic to your team? The guest experience your regulars keep coming back for, that doesn't come from the POS system. It comes from the server who's been with you for 3 years that knows every regular by name. It comes from the line chef that is owning their station like it's their own kitchen. And it comes from the manager that sets the tone before the doors open. Turnover doesn't just cost you money, it costs you that. It costs you that relationship that your guests don't even know that they're coming back for. So when we talk about retention, we're not just talking about reducing the line item, we're talking about protecting the thing that makes your restaurant worth coming back to. Retention isn't just about keeping people, it's about building a space, a place that's worth staying, both for the guest and your employees. We treat recruiting like it's a solution, when really it's a symptom. So, my challenge to you all today, and those of you that are gonna be in the industry in years to come, before you post another role, before you schedule another interview, ask yourself who on your team is showing up, holding those standards, and wondering whether or not you see them. Find that person, have the conversation, and do it today. Do it this week. Hiring fills shifts, retention builds restaurants. Let's build places worth staying at. Thank you.